Alright, if you've got one of these and one of these, you need to get one of these. It's a PlayStation VR headset, and I'll tell you why. If you're playing like this, going to this is going to be nothing short of a gaming revelation. So long as you're not one of the unfortunate few who get persistent nausea, you're going to have a hard time going back to a TV or a monitor. Now, the level of immersion is unreal. Everything feels so much faster when you're driving, and you're so much more aware of things like the height of the curbs, the camber of the road, elevation changes. The world around you is literally life-size, and all of a sudden you really feel like you are sitting in the cockpit of these incredible race cars. It tricks your brain into thinking that those are your hands on that steering wheel, and all of a sudden the passenger side front wheel feels like it's 1.5 meters across from you, like it's over there, which you don't get any sense of when playing on a single monitor. I've spent God knows how many hours in the McLaren GT3 car, but the first time I drove it in VR was like, wow. There were things I knew but didn't really have an awareness of when I was using the monitor, like the fact that there's no passenger seat. Like, of course there's not, it's a race car, I know that, but looking sideways and seeing an empty cabin, it hit different. And having visibility of the mirrors and the reverse-facing camera on the dash, it's like, wow, all of these things are modeled by the game designers, but you never really see them. And it feels like such a shame that so much of their hard work is hidden away in the main game. Like, imagine being the guy who painstakingly recreated the 90s upholstery on this Supra and knowing that 99% of people aren't gonna see it. So there's the immersion factor, which I'm sure comes as no surprise to anyone really, but there's other huge benefits to VR as well. Separate from my day job, I'm a riding instructor at Sydney Motorsport Park, and yes, that's on 2 wheels, but a lot of the theory applies to cars as well. One of the biggest things that transforms the way you ride or drive is your ability to use your vision. This is where VR shines. Looking further up the road slows down your sensation of speed, and it makes it feel like you have a lot more time to react. And you can do that on a monitor or TV setup so long as you're not in a really tight turn, where the point that you want to look at is past the edge of your screen. Let's take a look at that same corner, but in VR this time. Having the freedom to just turn your head and actually look through the corners, you have no idea how much of a difference that makes. It feels so much more natural, and it really is like breaking free from the shackles of a monitor. You're literally going from driving blind to being able to see where you're going. The other huge benefit which I wasn't aware of before trying is the depth perception. It's much easier to accurately judge distance, and I found I was considerably more consistent when driving in VR. In fact, going back to the monitor, I noticed immediately how much more prone I was to spinning, braking too late into the corners, constantly making corrections for understeer and oversteer. So VR makes it easier to drive well, which is great because you also find that you don't want to crash. It's so immersive, so the self-preservation instincts kick in a little more. Plus somehow the car feels more real, so I found myself wanting to take care of it more, even though it's really just nothing more than pixels on a screen. One thing I want to point out here is that the barrel distortion you see in this captured footage isn't present when you're wearing the headset, but the graphics are the biggest drawback. I'm going to be as harsh as I can here and compare GT Sport in VR on a PS4 to GT7 on a PS5. The difference is night and day, and yet despite how much better the graphics are on PS5, I would so much rather live with shitty graphics and have the option to play GT7 in full in VR. The experience is that much better. In fact, in recording some of this comparison footage, I was going through races I'd already done in GT7, so it felt like a bit of a chore. But once I jumped back into VR, I found myself wanting to keep cutting laps even after I'd gotten the footage I needed. I recently picked up a shifter for the rig as well, and that, with the VR, has made me fall in love with driving the stock road cars, which really I didn't have any interest in before that. It's also opened up other games for me, like Dirt Rally. I mean, this is the slowest car in the game, and it's just absolutely amazing fun with a shifter in VR. And unlike Gran Turismo, you can race your friends online in rallycross events whilst they're also in VR, which is just awesome. And technically you can use your PSVR with a non-VR game, like we are here with F1 2021. I'm rather clumsily filming the headset with my phone pointed through the lens, but you essentially run the game on a virtual screen, which is kind of like the size of an IMAX screen. And because of that, you run a really wide field of view, and it's almost like having a native VR experience. Even if you don't have a steering wheel, PlayStation VR offers a pretty incredible racing experience through Wipeout Omega Collection. It's also arguably a better technical showcase of what the headset's capable of. The graphics in the Gran Turismo VR demo are pretty pared back in comparison. Just be ready for things to get a little crazy in this game. Here in Australia, you can pick up a used headset in good condition for less than $200, and in my opinion, it's worth every cent. Hope you get to try one out, and happy driving. Cheers.